It is 1 o'clock now, and about a quarter ago I started sensing that everything is so deeply connected. And also, since about a quarter ago, I have started no, I mean that I can't find the words. It is so difficult to be quote-unquote normal in those states, because half of part of your brain is working with a different way, in a different way. So what I wanted to say is that, oh god, I forgot it. Yeah, there is no need to worried. Oh yes, it is that my imagination has expanded. Everything it is happening to me, it becomes like a scene of a movie, and it grows garlands into its own small world, realm. It's interesting to see how the imagination grows garlands. I have to stop now, to pause, to continue my work, and then go home and enjoy as much as I can in the stillness. I sit motionless, and I am deepening inside, inwardly. So I have to pause now, and I will catch up later. Everything is distracting my attention. That is why I am pausing in between. Okay, pause now. 13:16, and I had the native North American feeling. I was sensing, and I am still sensing inside, that how it is to be an Indian from the North America. And because I was born in that period, at the hippies and all this beautiful, magnificent, swirling time era. So since I was born at that time, from a young child, I had always the idea that I am either the incarnation of a hippie that died in that period, of a native North American one, because I always had and have those elements inside. And so connecting this to my sense of feeling how it is to be a native North American, I'm thinking I had the insight that our consciousness can become that energy and go inside in that place, like one is walking inside a library, go there and retrieve that information and put it into words and make it alive. It's like, how can I describe it? Like there is a bucket of clay and one can give various shapes to it and then bake it into the oven and give it a form. Something, I would say something dead to make it alive. Now it has no meaning, because I understand deeper that what is more alive, the clay that comes from the ground, from the living earth, or something that we bake inside the oven, and it gives us only the illusion of shape, to which shape it is understandable and conceivable in our society. We are conceiving something with the shape of a bicycle, for example. We conceive it as it is alive, but it is only an image. So much they have trained our brains inside this system. So we have manipulated into thinking that the picture of a bicycle is the bicycle itself. But we forget that this bicycle is made from aluminium, and aluminium is a mineral, and minerals are alive. They come from the earth or from beneath the earth, and they are alive, and they are molded and formed in very high temperatures to make something that we are familiar of. We are familiar of a bicycle, but not of the element that made that bicycle. We are not familiar of the aluminium at its initial form. How much more alive it is than this bicycle. So from this single factor, one can start elevating at the heights of the human. I cannot find those words now in English. How much people are I meant how much people are taught illusion for reality. Reality is something so much away from our perception. We can hear the subsonic sounds, the supersonic sounds. The subsonic sounds are made from elephants, and the supersonic sounds are made from bats, as they are flying to help them to navigate inside the space. So we cannot hear at these frequencies. Hello, hi. Yeah, it's good. We cannot hear those frequencies. We cannot see into the ultraviolet frequency. We cannot see into distraction. Someone came. So we cannot see into the ultraviolet light. We cannot see the infrared light. So all these are realities, but we are losing them each and every second, each and every millisecond. It is here and we are not. So how can one define reality? What is real and what is not? What you can perceive and what you can't? You cannot. It's like living energetical poetry. Illusion is all the time. Reality is all the time. So what is real and what is not? How can you say something that you are sure of something? Because when you don't know all of its qualities. There are so many qualities around. Everything is alive and it has its levels of quality. Distraction again. Hallo. Ja?
Deze zit niet op mijn adres, hè?
Oh, yes. Hij verhuisd.
Wat? Ik weet niet.
Oh. Het is zo al aan het begin.
Ik weet het niet.
Oh,
Gaan we nog meer vanavond gaan?
Ja, ik kan terugsturen.
Dat was niet voor hem, dus...
Ja, dat is goed. Ik ga terug.
Yes? Oké.
Ja. Oh, I was recording. So I had a beautiful flow, and I was distracted. But as I was saying, we are so much misled by our senses. We live only in the shadow of the world. Our whole frequency is just a slice of the shadows that reality shades when lit from one light, from one source of light. So our whole frequency is just a piece, a slice of the shadow of the true reality. Hello. Oh, luckily there are no many people. They would see a lyricist postman. Oh, I can't find the words. I see the tree across, and it's magnificent. I have to pause now. 1347, and I was feeling so. Every notion, every idea I have can turn into a brilliant flow, of what I had it before inside me. It can become like a brilliant flow of inner sensation. It is liquid flow. It's liquid flow. And people are missing so much from this reality. When they live into the non-linear, into the linear, world, and how much they miss, because the world perceivable under these states is so rich in sensation. It has so many levels and qualities of sensation and sensing. It is rich and vast. And I say vast, and I remembered regardless what I said prior about illusion and the reality. So I perceived it like the God or gods is huge, gigantic, non-measurable proportions entity that is like a liquid flow, and the rainbow colors are constantly changing, and it is vibrant and radiant and tactile. It can be reached via any sense. So it is this wow goddess, and from this source they are forming shadows below. So they are formed shadows below on the so to speak ground, and a tiny slice of that shadow is our frequency, and dividing it from that, our entire frequency includes this space and many other spaces. So we are talking about vast spacey dimension of thinking and sensing. So we are nothing. And this perhaps can become a bliss, because if we knew the tiniest proportion of God's knowledge, then living in this body, in this frequency, it would tear us in pieces, literally, because that is a higher energy, a higher vibrational energy. It can't be reached in this linear state of consciousness. Oh, I am out in the space now at the same time, in here, but I can sense the energy among the planets. Oh, it's so weird. It's like I am outside the womb of my mother. I'm able to sense many things because everything is new to me. So according to this thinking I had, then also the babies, they can also have these perceptions of the outer world from which they are living inside the womb of their mother. That is why from the moment of conception one has to consider a living being breathing and vibrating in his body, because it is in the form of energy. And it has an astral knowledge of the outer, of what is happening beyond her mother's body. So we ought to treat that creature with respect from the first moments of life inside the mother's womb. So I am sensing there at the outer space, I am trying to sense, is the correct word. I am trying to sense what is happening there, how it moves energetically. It moves and behaves in an unknown way that I am unable to perceive how it functions, because I lose it. When I try to grasp it with my third eye, with my mind's eye, when I try to grasp it with my mind's eye, it is like it was there for a split of the second, and then I lost it, but I had only the impression of it was there. It's so rich and so beyond our perception. Wow. The reality, the true reality is the most vivid inebriation, is a floating dream, a living floating dream. It's beyond dreams, a dream beyond dreams. is unreachable from these senses, but I can feel it now. I can strongly feel it. Wow, I am able to feel it. It is so strong sensation. My God. Oh, it vibrates my heart with colors. Oh, it vibrates my heart with colors and happiness. Oh, I am bliss. I am in bliss now. In this moment, my heart is vibrating with colors. It is like a golden color heart now. It is vibrating in colors and sensations and flows around her. Oh, this inconceivable movement of motion and wisdom inside those realms. Inconceivable beauty. I felt it so strong energetically. Oh, thank you, God, for this gift of perception. Thank you, God, you know why. I will try to pay it back forward. Thank you. It was so intense. I was able to feel it. I have to go rest in home better. And from there I can continue better. Now it is 2 o'clock. Pausing. Do you see those shapes, those geometrical shapes? These are naturally formed from hits, from various forces upon them, and they are forming these geometrical patterns. So we are stepping on crystals, and we are surrounded by crystals and rocks. In that we can be changed by their qualities. It is not that we are affecting, they are affecting us. They are deep. They are deep energy factories. They are deep energy factories. Everything has a new meaning. That brick of wood in the wall, I can see how much alive it is in its initial form. From the rock, There's a rock. And all these are vibrating in some way. But those cracks that were formed in the geometrical shape, when we are stepping on them and we are surrounded by crystals, but we don't know it, and they affect us. I have to close now. It is 14:32. Just minutes later from the last recording, I felt at some point that someone is behind me. I turned my head, there was no one. And then I realized that I feel a presence behind me. It was like in the form of very... I don't know if it is recorded because I am on the bicycle. I will cover it with my hands. So I felt it like it was a very transparent shade. That was like a very transparent shade. Only felt. And it was following me, and I sense it has followed me. About 30 seconds ago, since I started this recording. Now I think it is gone, and it was behind me for some minutes. So I have to pause now again. I'm on the bicycle. It is 3 o'clock now, and I am home. I was eating strawberries, and cannabis brings this appetite, and I was eating the strawberries rather faster than I am consuming the food, and I felt how alive it was. But this time I didn't felt their pain. Instead, I felt how much alive they are, in the sense of the energy that I receive through them. I was completely sensing that with each alive food, with a piece of strawberry, we consume their consciousness. So when it's about the strawberries, for example, we are popping strawberries like we were popping pills. Every strawberry is a pill of consciousness. Because alive raw food provides so much energy and aliveness. Someone feels alive. It is incredible how intense I can feel right now. How much intense. I have to pause. I have to feed my dog now. Oh, and I failed to mention that all this time that I wasn't recording, I was feeling so beautiful. Floating, I was coming with my cycling with my bicycle, and I was feeling like I float from left to right in an energy bubble, like I was floating there, not as a solid on a solid. I was feeling the fluidity of it. And I'm thirsty now, I need water again, so I will pause now, but there are so many thoughts, so beautiful thoughts, and insights on anything my mind goes. And it's a pity that I have to close now. I have to pause. I meant, okay. 15:14. 15:14. So one form of receiving consciousness is via the intake, the ingestion of alive, raw foods. But there are other types and qualities of consciousness, and one most powerful of them is via the chi field, which is everywhere and among everything. It is the invisible field. And those subtler realms of the chi, those ways of receiving information through those subtle antennas, it's so fine and filtered naturally. If there is a whole train of thoughts, now there is a whole train of emotions. The sounds create ripples inside my ear system. Every sound becomes like a crystal. Every sound has the shapes, the geometrical patterns echoing inside my ear system. So it feeds every cell with crystal information. Every cell absorbs what I described, which is particles from what is the chi energy, the chi field. Higher wisdom. Penetrating into subtler realms and realities, filling with subtle senses the energy of things, sensing the aura of energy. It is so subtle, I cannot even think of it without destroying it. Yes, I love you too, Penny. I love you 3. I love you 20,003. Oh, and now we have the peeling session of Penny licking me in my face, so I have to pause now because it is her time now to feel and to sense in her own way. Just a minute later, I had to record this. How sensitive Penny is. She is very sensitive, very sensitive. So fragile. I have to watch how I speak to her, how I walk. If I make sounds, she's looking at me with these innocent eyes, like a child. Did you try to hurt me? Or are you not feeling fine? Why, Daddy? They are creatures full of love. So I'm sensing how sensitive is Penny. How sensitive. She's very soft inside. Oh, I love you, Penny. I know you want to feel that I love you because you are so sensitive and you are changed, you are transformed from the subtle waves of the love energy. Whenever I talk to her softly or I stroke her, she is completely changed. Her energy is changing completely. She's become so soft. How much we affect one another, every other being. Everything is alive, the tree, the ground, the rock, the earth. Everything is alive and they are communicating with each other. We are communicating when we are in nature. We are communicating and we sit on the rock. We are communicating. Either we are perceiving it or not, and we are connected with every other little creature and with every piece of rock, with the rock we are sitting on, with the trees, with the energy of the lake. We are interchange consciousness, qualities of consciousness. So it is 3:24 now. Another pause. 15:31. And I tried to eat some cherries as well. But as I started biting, I felt they were burned my throat. I felt some chemical substance present there. So I can't afford to buy organic, unfortunately. But I was thinking later that at least some portion should be, so I support these people and gradually grow and hence reduce their prices. So I'm a part of the chain. In fact, I'm a part of every chain because everything is connected. My thought becomes a ripple in the crystal lake and transmits this vibrational wave affecting everything else. That is why we are able to perceive things, because there are waves of thought traveling like energy, and we were able to tap into this. That is one explanation for premonition of, in general, the ability to know the future, because everything exists in the now and there. It's like a mirror. So there is exchange among those qualities. How can I call them? Everything is so elegantly weaved in the perplexity of colors and sounds and the waves of motion. Colors breathe inside me, and I give birth to the flow of spring. Oh, this is instant poetry. I feel I could travel upon each word, each letter can drag me into its own realm. Everything is in tiny pieces, but we understand it as one picture. Everything is so many, we are so little. No, of course, we are not gods. Of course not, but we are able to perceive a tiny portion of God's grace. And that is a blessing by itself, because it gives a meaning in life. But we are not sure that animals also do not experience that. I am most than confident that they do. experience those realms, but in different qualities. The consciousness is out there and vibrates everything. Everything that is able to vibrate into the transformation of the sound frequency, everything that is able to vibrate in those frequencies or in the frequencies of the light, it carries consciousness. Everything like that, it carries consciousness, and everything affects us, and we affect everything else. We change everything else. And our thought is energy moving, sometimes inside my body, sometimes outside. Oh, it's a majestical journey of the thought. It can go everywhere in the moment, and moves beyond any laws of physics. Everything has so much meaning. That is why when one is able to sit motionless, she can absorb all this rich field. And now I can go into meditation. And go into that vibrational field, and I feel the vibration now. With my mind's eye, I am perceiving my whole body vibrating right now, and I feel it vibrating. It is vibrating in a frequency. My whole body vibrates, jumps up and down. Everything that exists and has consciousness has also vibration. There's also vibration. Now I have put my left hand over my dog, and I instantly change her field. Instantly. I am affecting her. She is feeling my love, my deep love, and she is calming now. Oh, I can feel how the energy flows, and I can flow with the energy. Also, inside Penny's thoughts and emotions. To perceive with the mind is one thing, but to perceive with the heart is the kingdom of kingdoms. I'm absorbing all this quality. I'm absorbing all that cannot be described with words, and it's so rich in emotions. Oh, I could cry now. Oh, words are destroying what I feel. Oh, it is so vast. Let's pause now again. (15:44) and I'm recording again to add this, that I felt that in the future we should have psychedelic concerts where we would go to meet each other both physically and energetically, to flow together in the same space, and it could called a psychedelic concert of souls experiencing one another in their division from the caption cups, from the source, from the light, from the ultimate, the everything. Okay, pause again. No, it's some minutes later, and I am recording to say that I am feeling the geometry of the matrix of the physical and of the spiritual matrix. Oh, it is so intense, and I feel how much Penny loves me. She loves me very much, very much. She wants to touch me with every part of her body. She's an amazing creature. So elegant. I love you, Penny. I love you. Me too. Okay, one more pause. 55.